What is up, everybody? It is I, Ronin, and want to start this by saying, hope everyone's staying safe. A lot of disease and sickness going around right now, so hopefully these cute, little, adorable baby animals and a few children, I guess, will make you feel better. Basically, we are playing the new Merfae. That's what we're learning how to do today. Sorry about that. You might hear various noises. That's because I'm not in my usual setup right now, so I'm improvising with some stuff a little bit. So very sorry if you hear anything like that. But Merfae. So Merfae is basically level 2 beast support because they're all like super adorable. They have some Xyz monsters, they have a few spell and traps. It's a decent archetype. Yeah, let's go ahead and go right into the deck profile. Starting with our monster lineup, we have free Rescue Cat, free Ash Blossom, free Valifon, free Puppy, two Kalantosa, free Kathy, free Fenny, and free Effect Veilers. So I feel like Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler are fairly self-explanatory. They are just our hand traps to sort of get negates and stuff on board when we need them. Rescue Cat, obviously everything in the deck outside of the hand traps are level 2 beasts, so the Rescue Cat lets you just summon any of them that you want to and leads into one of the rank 2s, which is pretty good. Valifon is decent recovery as well as being a tuner if you ever wanted to run synchro monsters in this deck. You just discard a card, revive a level 2 or lower beast, in attack position or face down defense position, so pretty good. Then we have Kalantosa, which when it is special summoned by the effect of a beast type, it pops something on the field. So yeah, lots of ways you can sort of set with disruption to this deck, but now let's get into the actual Merfae. So Merfae all have one common effect that says if a opponent normal or special summons a monster, or if one of them is targeted for attack, they return to your hand, and then something happens as a hard once return. Or puppy, I should say, sorry, he is a cute dog though, lets you special summon a beast from deck. Cat lets you search a beast from deck, and Fenny lets you special summon a different beast from your hand. So the obvious best ones are Puppy and Cat because Finny does require some setup. Thankfully, they all do have the additional effect that you can special summon them from your hand during the end phase, and that's kind of where you are able to make disruptions. So as far as starting hand goes, if you have a Rescue Cat, you're in the clear. If you have Obedience Schooled, which basically just summons free level 2 or lower beasts from deck, i.e. one each of your Merfae, if you really want it, you're probably good. Even Emerging Emergency Rescue Rescue is very helpful because Rescue Cat obviously meets the stat requirements for the search, as well as Merfae Puppy. So this does give you some options for searching and more ways to get your play started, so it's pretty good. We have the 2020 revision, so we can play in 2020. We have free Pot of Extravagance, so we run our extra deck monsters at multiples, so we can use this, and it's kinda our only draw power outside of Merfae Hide and Seek, but we'll go over that later. Called by the Grave because this deck relies so much on things like Obedience Schooled and Rescue Cat, and they just lose to Ash Blossom, so yeah, it's a good thing to have this ready to go. Now for the last of our Merfae spell traps, we have Merfae Tag, which is Merfae Monster Reborn as a quick play spell. A lot better than you might think. Merfae Hide and Seek, it's a continuous spell that makes it so the first time each beast you control would be destroyed by a card effect each turn. It is not. And it lets you target free beast monsters in your grave, shuffle them back into your deck, and you draw a card. So it's good effect protection, good recycling, and decent-ish draw power. So yeah, it's a very good card. And our last is Merfae Time, or Merfae Time, sorry. It's a normal trap that allows you to attach any number of Xyz materials from Beast Xyz monsters you control, target that many cards on the field, bounce them back to the hand, and then all of your Merfae get 500 attack points till the end of the turn this was activated. It's a decent disruption. It's only really good if you have Mammy on the field, because what Mammy does is just build up overlay units. But yeah, it's a good thing to have, and it's very searchable, so good at one. Now for just sort of the basic combo, what you could do, just sort of leading into the extra deck here. So say you open a Rescue Cat, you summon Rescue Cat, get 2 of your Merfae out, make the rank 2 Merfaes of the Forest. If you have Obedience Schooled, obviously you'd be able to go for a Mammy and a Merfaes of the Forest probably, or any other of the rank 2s that you feel is necessary at the time. So those are kind of your key cards. Thankfully, like I said, we do have stuff like Pot of Extravagance to draw into it, as well as Emergency Rescue to search some of our starter cards. So it's pretty solid. Now to the extra deck. We are running multiples of things that we would normally run at one because of Pot of Extravagance, obviously. So starting with the basic stuff, it's your boy Sandayu. You know he is the ultimate of the level 2 beast monsters. By detaching an overlay unit, he protects himself because another beast token will be on the field, and that token will have the attack at equal to that of the monster at the highest attack on the field. Centauria, as long as it has overlay units, has battle protection, and whenever it battles, it can detach a overlay unit afterwards to bounce whatever it battled back to the hand. Mannequin Cat is Monster Reborn, and if your opponent is also playing Beast, it lets you Monster Reborn things. So that's pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and go over Mammy and Merfaes of the Forest, starting with Merfaes of the Forest because it is genuinely the more impressive Xyz monster. It has 500 attack and 2000 defense. Requires 2 level 2 monsters, and once returned, it lets you detach a material from itself to add a Merfae card from your deck to your hand. And if another Merfae face-up monster on you control returns to your hand, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and while this is face-up on the field, it cannot activate its effects, attack, or anything. So it's a pretty good disruption. I'll go over the basic play with it later, but this is your primary form of disruption. Next up, we have Merfae Mammy. It requires 2 or more level 2 beast monsters, which is perfectly fine. And it has the ability to attach beast from the field or hand to itself as material, and as it has more material, it will gain different effects. With 3 or more, it cannot be destroyed by battle. With 4 or more, you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. And with 5 or more, when an attack is declared involving this card and attack position monster, you can burn your opponent for damage equal to the other monsters, well, attack. So, pretty good. This is definitely more of the stally card, but it is solid. Now for the extra deck, first going over the basics, we have Free Twin, Free Lightning Storm, obviously for those going second matchups. Gamma still helps with that. 2 Storm Mirror Force, because this deck can run traps, it just often doesn't. And what I think is the coolest tech. Okay, this tech, you're not gonna believe this. This is Closed Forest. So, is a beast field spell that gives 100 attack points to every beast on the field for every beast in your graveyard. Now you might be wondering, okay, cool. That's not very impressive though. How does it help? Well, I'll tell you how it helps. It stops the activation of other field spells. Uh, and and field spells cannot be activated during the end phase is destroyed. So you want to know why we have this and terraforming? Mystic Mine matchup. Because apparently that's still a deck people like to use, and I hate that with a burning passion so much. So we are running Closed Forest in the sideboard in case Mystic Mine shows up, and we can just say no. So yeah, it's a pretty cool tech, and I think it is neat as a sideboard card. But if you are new here, we just go over a couple replays that I gathered. I show you the deck doing well, the deck not doing well, its strengths, its weaknesses, what I wish could be different, etc., so forth. But with all that being said, I will see you all in the first replay. Alright, well in the first replay with Moon Knight, we are Tab as usual, and he is playing a Sacred Beast variant. Thankfully, I chose this replay because this is effectively the perfect hand. Like, you have everything you need so long as you can put 2 Merfae on board, but this hand is just really good. So thankfully we are going first, which is what we probably both agreed to the 2020 thing. Go ahead and start with the Pot of Extravagance because that is, required to activate first. Then because we control no monsters, we can go ahead and hit up that Obedience Schooled. Bringing out just any monsters really. We make Merfaes of the Forest, detach it in order to search Merfae Tag actually. So you might be thinking, why not search Merfae Hide and Seek or even Merfae Time? Well, Tag will revive the material you just attached, and then its bouncing effect will be online, so that disruption with your Merfaes of the Forest is now live. So you're going to see that play kind of in action. And again, it's a situation where if you can choose your materials, it's really good because Puppy is also a disruption in and of itself, but we are going to go ahead and normal summon another Puppy to go ahead and make Sandayu. Go ahead and protect itself with a token, making this wall a little bigger. And then it is on to our opponent, and we are able to special summon Caffey during our end phase. So Caffey, you kind of have to activate first for the search and to clear out spaces. However, we are on to our opponent who did draw pretty well. Summons the Dark Beckoning Beast to go ahead and try to get that search. However, because he normal summoned, we are able to chain our Merfae. So first, Caffey's coming back to the hand to search the Rescue Cat in case our board does get outed. Then Puppy returns to the hand to summon Kalatosa. And then the Dark Beckoning Beast resolves. However, we are now in a new chain where Merfaes of the Forest and Kalatosa's effect will take place. So because we mostly want to destroy, we are going to go ahead and make Kalatosis, or Kalantasa. Okay, that Kalantasa. We're going to go ahead and make that chain link 1 to chain block a little bit. So we negate it, pop it, and then our opponent isn't really able to do much else because they have lost their extra normal summon. So yeah, we basically win. And that is the deck going off ideally. Like I said, you can get to any summation of this board so long as you can make Merfaes of the Forest, so it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. But it is kind of key that Merfaes of the Forest activate, or else you're just hoping to hard draw tag. We run hide and seek at free because we don't want to search it because there's better things to search, like tag, as I mentioned, even Merfae time. So with draw power and stuff, I figured free was the right call. But yeah, next replay, this was just doing pretty well. It disrupted, it popped things, it stopped the normal summon. What else can you ask for with a Yu-Gi-Oh deck? However, next game is still a win, but you're gonna probably notice a problem with the deck there. So I'll see you guys in that one. Alright, on to the second and final replay with Miyami, playing Exodia. This is still a pretty good hand. We could possibly hope for more, but there was a slight misplay in this one, actually, so keep that in mind. But this hand is not awful. However, we are going first. We both agree to 2020 rules. So I'm going to go ahead and Pot of Extravagance as per usual. And this was a misunderstanding on me. I didn't quite understand how Valathon worked. I thought you could discard a beast and then revive that same beast. But turns out that is not how it works. So yeah, so we just summoned a Valathon. During the end phase, we will get out our Merfae. So we do have some amount of disruption, especially with the Ash Blossoms in hand, so at this point, I was very scared of getting OTK'd, but we do have we have some plays to mess with our opponent. However, his turn, and he is going to go ahead and start rooting through his deck as we expect him to do. Go ahead and activate Caffey to search Kalantosa because we do have the Finny on field, so we'll be able to bounce Finny back and get that disruption going. So our opponent is going to go ahead and search, activates the Allure, Spellbook of Knowledge, which will be ashed. However, Upstart is happening now, and continuously just trying to search and deck then. On the Apprentice Illusion Magician, though, we are going to activate Finny's effect. Return it to hand, special summon Kalantosa. He does get search. Kalantosa pops the Apprentice Illusion Magician, but he was just trying to search Dark Magician for that Allure. Going ahead and using the Wonder Wand effect to draw 2. 1 Day of Peace, obviously, we both get the draw there, so we drew into Caffey. And then it is back to us. So we are going to go ahead and just summon Caffey and start making Xyz units. We went ahead and searched Merfae time because we were going to be making Merfae Mammy. That means we have a lot of options for disruptions on time. So first, Merfae Mammy's ability to attach a beast from hand. Now it cannot be destroyed by battle, so I felt pretty good about that protection. We also have a Caffey there for the force disruption, so Generally speaking, okay, we are going to go ahead and ash the extravagance. Duality comes down. This is at this point I knew he was playing Exodia. I thought he was being weird at the one point just because like you don't banish your dark magicians, but yeah, no, it was Exodia. So now it is on to us. We use Mammy's effect to attach Kathy, switch them to attack mode. Go ahead and get a search for the Merfae hide and seek, which will then activate, and from there we just start attacking. And as you can see, this is where the problems kind of begin, because while our opponent is admittedly not doing much to fight back, because they can't, we don't exactly have a good way of dealing damage like this. So it's just kind of poke for 15 every time until you can make another rank 2. Uh, so at this point, I was worried because I was scared I would not be able to outpace the Exodia. So that was a pretty hefty concern of mine, especially since he's continuing to deck then. Thankfully, we did have the Call by the Grave for the Spellbook Apprentice. Then we're going to go ahead and Merfae time to keep him from drawing more. And our attack boost goes away at the end of the turn because 1,000 and 1,500 attack were just too strong, I suppose. Yeah, but our opponent is going to keep trying to draw that Exodia. Not really doing too good job of it. Why? Oh yeah, because extravagance means you can't draw more in that turn. Okay, fair enough, fair. So we go ahead and summon the Rescue Cat, so we'll be able to make another rank 2, just so we can finally push through for game. And that's the problem with this deck. It has okay disruptions. It's fairly consistent, especially with all the level 2 beast support that exists. The issue becomes when you're trying to actually finish your opponent off, unless you have some other alternate engine. This deck on its own just doesn't kill anything. Like, I guess you can make an argument for, oh, summon Sandayu while your opponent has a big boy on the field. Well, that doesn't quite work if the opponent doesn't have a big boy. So, yeah, no, the problem with this deck is it needs more of a win condition outside of just it disrupts things a little bit pretty consistently. But yeah, so that's this deck. Let me know your own thoughts on it. Is there anything I could have improved? Anything I did right or wrong? And maybe what decks you want me to play next? I'm coming back and I'm feeling refreshed and I am excited to get to sort of work on this stuff again. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. I will work on them. I have a few that I need to hit though right now, so maybe don't expect it immediately, but expect it at some point. But yeah, all that being said, like if you liked, comment if you have something to say, and subscribe if you want some more. This has been Ronin, signing off.